The top stories tonight in Y News. President Rodrigo Duterte has signed the 4.5 trillion peso national budget for the year 2021.
The government defends the military's use of unregistered COVID-19 vaccines from China.
Some senators slam President Duterte's no vaccine, no visiting forces agreement remarks. New Subic Freeport Expressway road to be partially open to motorists this holiday season.
Japan halts the entry of all foreigners in the country.
And Birmingham's cop spots 2,000 suspects through his remarkable talent for remembering faces. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, December 28, 2020. I am Harleen Delgado.
Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the country and in other parts of the world. I'm Angelo Castro III.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media accounts and our website, untvweb.com. I am Elsie Marcos.
First in the news. President Rodrigo Duterte has signed the 4.5 trillion peso national budget for the year 2021. The ceremonial signing of the spending plan was held in Malacanang. Select lawmakers from the House of Representatives and Senate witnessed the signing event. The national budget includes allocation for the government's response to COVID-19 pandemic and economic recovery, as well as the 72.5 billion pesos for the storage, transportation, and distribution of COVID-19 vaccines.
As we look forward with the hope for the coming year, let me assure the public that this administration will ensure the efficient use of resources through sound fiscal policy that will enable us to overcome the debilitating effects of the pandemic.
A number of soldiers has already been inoculated with the coronavirus vaccine developed by China's Sinopharm. But the palace said getting inoculated with a vaccine without approval from the Food and Drug Administration is not against the law. Rosalie Cos will tell us why live. Yes, Rosalie?
Arlene, President Rodrigo Duterte revealed that some military personnel and individuals in the country have already received the coronavirus vaccine developed by Chinese firm Sinopharm. However, the president seemed to be not concerned over the matter. He said the soldiers need to be protected from the virus to maintain peace and security in the country.
So, marami na ang nagpa-injection dito sa Sinopharm. At huwag kang tumingin sa akin na hindi kita kilala. I have to be frank and I have to tell the truth. I will not voice a lie. Marami na nagpatusok and lahat. Up to now, wala akong narinig for the select few. Not all soldiers. Not all soldiers. Hindi pa kasi policy. If it is policy now to have them injected with pero gusto ko mauna sila because I do not want a sickly armed forces and a sickly police. The reason why is that they have to be in good health all the time because they are responsible for the law and order of this country.
The palace insisted it is not illegal to use coronavirus vaccines unregistered with the Food and Drug Administration as long as the vaccines are not commercially sold and distributed and the vaccination was voluntary.
Hindi po pinagbabawal ng batas natin ang magpaturok ng hindi rehistrado. Ang bawal po yung distribution at yung pagbebenta. So ito naman po ay tinurok sa mga sundalo na pumayag.
The official denied the vaccination was state-sanctioned and the government procured the vaccines. Roque has no details if other government officials, cabinet, or presidential security group members have been vaccinated by the Sinopharm vaccine. But he assured the president has not been vaccinated against the coronavirus.
Huwag nyo naman pong ipagkait sa ating mga sundalo kung nagkaroon sila ng proteksyon. Tanggapin na lang po natin na importante na yung ating kasundaluhan, yung mga nagbabantay sa ating seguridad ay ligtas na sa COVID na magampan nila ang kanilang trabaho.
The palace official added, Harleen, that although Sinopharm vaccine is not yet registered in the Philippines, it has already obtained emergency use authorization in China as well as in the United Arab Emirates, and more than 1 million people have already been inoculated. Harleen?
Thank you, Rosalie Cos, reporting live.
Meanwhile, the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, said it has not issued any emergency use authorization of any vaccine for coronavirus disease in the country. Health officials, meanwhile, reiterate its call to the public to refrain from using unauthorized vaccine. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
I will have to defer to the president the basis for his statement. But as of now, I really can't say. Kung ano lang yung narinig nyo, yun din yung narinig ko. Kailangan natin maging transparent sa ating mga efforts to secure our vaccines, at kailangan natin magbigay ng regular na updates para maiparating sa ating pong publiko na atin talagang sinisigurado na ang bakuna na pipiliin ay ligtas at epektibo.
This is the response of the Department of Health on the vaccination of some soldiers with China-made Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccines. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III emphasized that all vaccines should still undergo evaluation and regulatory process conducted by experts. According to the Food and Drug Administration, they have not approved any COVID-19 vaccines in the country, and when a vaccine is not evaluated by experts, an individual has no assurance that it is effective and safe to use. The FDA also emphasized violators will be penalized once proof of unlawful acts.
Ang bawal sa Pilipinas ay ang magbenta, mag-import, mag-distribute, at saka mag-dispense ng unregistered drug. So once there are illicit activities like this, the ones who will have problems, ang mga magkakakaso dito, yung importer, yung distributor, yung doktor na nagbakuna, or yung healthcare worker na nagbakuna, because they are utilizing unregistered drugs.
Director General Dominguez says they are continuously conducting investigation in the administration of COVID-19 vaccines in the country. According to Dr. Edsel Salvana of the UP National Institutes of Health, a person's health can be in danger by being immunized with vaccines unauthorized by expert bodies in the country.
To take an unapproved, unregulated vaccine is very, very dangerous. Unang-una, hindi natin alam kung vaccine talaga yung itinuturok sa'yo. Kasi if people are willing to break the law to give something like that, then they're not going to hesitate to give you water or something more harmful. So I urge everyone to stay away from those. Kasi you are literally putting your life at risk if you take unregulated medicines, especially COVID vaccines.
FDA adds it is only Pfizer-BioNTech that have submitted their emergency use authorization application and is now being reviewed by FDA. Their EUA application can possibly be approved by the end of January or first week of February 2021.
Basically, I would think maybe 2 to 3 weeks for evaluation, and within a month, if everything is acceptable and in order, then maybe we will be able to release an emergency use authorization. Once you have an EUA, then the government can officially purchase a product and import it into the country and use it during the vaccination.
2 groups will be evaluating their submitted documents. 1 group will be evaluating their clinical information, and the other would be focusing on the technical side of their application. Meanwhile, 3 vaccine manufacturers are seen to start their clinical trials by January 2021. These are the Sinovac of China, Clover, and Janssen of Johnson & Johnson. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Some senators expressed disagreement with President Duterte's remark on terminating the visiting forces agreement should the United States fail to deliver COVID-19 vaccine. Meanwhile, the lawmakers also have different views on the reported vaccination of some members of the military. Arlene Delgado will tell us why.
Over the weekend, President Duterte threatened to push through with the termination of the VFA if the U.S. fails to supply the country with at least 20 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines. However, this did not sit well with some senators. Senator Panfilo Lacson called it unfortunate, saying that there could be a better way of asking the U.S. without sounding like blackmailing. According to the senator, this might have sealed the country's fate to settle for China's Sinovac instead of the Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna vaccines from the U.S. Meanwhile, for Senator Richard Gordon, the president's threat was totally inappropriate and lessens the dignity of the Philippines. And for Senator Francis Pangilinan, President Duterte should instead threaten China not to sell more expensive yet less than ineffective vaccines. But in a radio interview, Senate Majority Leader Miguel Zubiri believes the chief executive made the remark out of anger after Pfizer supposedly asked for a down payment for the vaccines. Earlier, Zubiri and Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon also expressed alarm over reports that China's Sinovac vaccine has only 50% efficacy rate, which is lower compared to other vaccines developed for COVID-19. However, the palace denied this.
Kay Senator Pangilinan, buti na lang hindi ka presidente. Kay Senator Zubiri at kay Senator Drilon, World Health po ang nagtatag ng ganyang benchmark. Pero wala pong nagsasabi na ang Sinovac or ang Sinopharm ay 50% lang ang efficacy.
The Senate will launch a hearing on the government's COVID-19 vaccination plan on January 11. Jorlene Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
For the second day in a row, the Philippines has recorded less than 1,000 new cases of coronavirus disease, pushing the national case count to 470,650. A total of 766 new cases of the disease were reported today, while 104 recoveries were reported, taking the total recovery count to 438,780. There were 15 new fatalities, bringing the death toll to 9,124. According to the latest data from the Health Department, Davao City reported the highest new cases for the day with 60, followed by Quezon City with 46, Benguet with 41, Laguna with 39, and Rizal with 37. Active cases are at 22,746. The country also recorded less than 1,000 new confirmed cases yesterday with 883 cases. Meanwhile, President Rodrigo Duterte is set to announce the new quarantine classifications for January tonight. The government has warned the public of a possible surge of COVID-19 cases over the holidays, which may cause some parts of the country to revert to a stricter quarantine classification. Starting today until January 15, 2021, the Subic Freeport Expressway will be temporarily open for motorists coming in and out of the Subic Bay Freeport zone for the holidays. Joan Nanoa tells us why.
To ease traffic congestion, which is expected this holiday season, the Department of Public Works and Highways and the Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation has temporarily opened the newly constructed expanded Subic Freeport Expressway or SFX starting today until January 15, 2021 from 6 a.m. up to 6 p.m. The 8.2-kilometer expanded expressway is a 2x2 divided lanes with 2 new bridges and a tunnel. The project is 92% complete and full completion is targeted until the first quarter of next year. With the temporary opening of SFX, this will ease the travel of motorists bound for Subic Bay, especially the truckers and merchants who are delivering essential goods. This will also accommodate influx of travelers who are taking advantage of the holiday season to spend some time in different tourist attractions within Subic Bay Freeport Zone. DPWH Secretary Mark Villar estimates that around 27,000 motorists are expected to benefit from the newly expanded expressway.
May New Year pa. So, holidays, anyway, during the holidays, kailangan talaga natin na gumawa ng paraan para lumuwag ang traffic. So, pinili talaga namin na ma-open to sa lalong madaling panahon.
According to SBMA Administrator Wilma Aisma, the temporary opening of the expressway will boost the tourism in the province. Hotels, resorts, restaurants, and other tourist destinations within Subic Bay are now allowed to operate at 50% capacity with strict compliance with the minimum health standards. Tourists who are visiting Subic Bay will only be required to submit for a medical certificate certifying that the person is in good health and does not have to undergo with any COVID-19 testing. However, if visitors are going to stay within 4 days or beyond, mandatory COVID-19 testing will be a requirement.
So yes, marami pong taong padating and Subic is excited in a way because sa totoo lang po, we were very much affected by the COVID and the lockdown because as you know, we are primarily a tourism area.
SBMA's administration is urging the public to visit some of their tourist destinations while observing strict compliance with the minimum health protocols. As of today, there are 3 active COVID-19 cases within the Subic Freeport Zone and are now under medical treatment. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for those watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on the right side of your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, has denied that there is recruitment of Moro National Liberation Front, or MNLF, in the province of Rizal. Leah Ilagan explains why.
The Philippine National Police nabbed 35 suspects who claimed to be members of the Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF member in Rizal Province. The suspects were caught illegally discharging firearms and engaging in unlawful paramilitary training. Rizal PNP Provincial Director Police Colonel Joseph Arguelles said the information they received after the arrest of the said individuals has so far proved that they are not regular members of the said group.
Yung affiliation with MNLF, we are still validating. Pero base sa mga information na nakukuha namin, they are not regular members of MNLF.
Based on their investigation, Arguelles said the arrested individuals are being used by land grabbers to protect their land.
Kasi sa investigation namin doon sa kanila, they are being used by land grabbers na para maprotektahan ay mga ginagawa nila land grab. Ilalagay sila doon, ginagawa sila with the promise that bibigyan sila ng 300,000 after the training prior their deployment to Mindanao. But according sa crews natin, wala naman ang pwedeng may dagdag na camp ang MNLF.
PNP Chief Police General De Bolsina said they did not receive any new information regarding recruitments in the province.
Ay wala po. I don't confirm it unless otherwise may mga bagong development po or may mga bagong ebidensya ay wala po kami natanggap na report doon.
The arrested individuals are headed by Lydia Panuelo and Edwin Malubay, who are both retired Master Sergeant of the Philippine Air Force, and Jose Juamer Laroya, who is an alleged member of the MNLF. Authorities also seized several ammunitions, including various military uniforms. The suspects are now detained at the San Mateo Municipal Police Station, and cases are now being prepared for filing before the prosecutor's office. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Anti-Money Laundering Council, or AMLC, has approved the freezing of bank deposits and other assets of the Communist Party of the Philippines and New People's Army. In a text message to reporters yesterday, Department of Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara said the AMLAC approved the freeze the freeze after the Anti-Terrorism Council formally designated the CPP-NPA as a terrorist group. AMLAC Executive Director Mel Racela, meanwhile, clarified that there are no bank accounts directly named under the CPP-NPA. He also added that the freeze order aims to deprive designated terror organizations or resources to prevent possible terror attacks. In a Twitter post, Marco Valbuena, Chief Information Officer of the Communist Party of the Philippines, said that the order will only suppress critics of the administration.
The Philippine National Police said that the National Capital Region Police Office, or NCRPO, and Internal Affairs Service, or IAS, are expediting the dismissal proceedings against Police Senior Master Sergeant Jonel Nuesca. Leia Ilagan explains why.
PNP Chief Police General De Bolsinas assures the public that Police Senior Master Sergeant Jonel Nuesca will be dismissed from service in 30 days. Nuesca is the police officer that shot dead his neighbor in Paniqui, Tarlac. Police General De Bolsinas says they are just following the proper procedures to avoid any problems that may affect the case.
Tingnan namin na at least hindi na lampas ng isang buwan after the incident ay mai-dismiss na po siya. So we just follow through some of our procedures and policies na susundin para po hindi naman po ma-technical. Ang inaalala po kasi namin pagka hastily or yung minamadali, no, walang kuan, baka ma-technical kami, sayang naman yung pag-dismiss namin sa kanya kung tatalunin na kami ng technicalities.
The Chief PNP also said they are just waiting for the commitment order from the court for the transfer of Nuesca to a detention facility.
Ang kaso po ay na-file na. They are just waiting for the commitment order. Nandiyan na po.
Sinas also confirmed that a professional intervention was given by the local government unit of Paniqui, Tarlac to all the minors who witnessed the incident. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Days before the year-end festivities, hundreds of firecracker brands were confiscated in some retail stores in Bocaue, Bulacan. But retailers appealed to authorities to spare them their livelihoods and chase manufacturers instead. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why.
The Department of Trade and Industry, together with the PNP Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, conducted a surprise inspection in firecracker stores in Bocaue, Bulacan today. The authorities discovered hundreds of pieces of firecracker and pyrotechnic devices from unlicensed manufacturers being sold by the retailers.
Marami tayong nakita na mga produkto na distributed by manufacturers na hindi lisensado, na either may pending application na hindi pa na-approve or na-deny na, or hindi pa sila nag-a-apply ng application or renewal.
The DTI specifies only 4 companies who legitimately have the Philippine Standard License to manufacture and distribute fireworks in the country, while the rest have no PS license and should not use the PS license mark in their products as they did not pass quality and safety check by the authority. Fireworks retailers, however, appeals to authorities to allow them to sell their products as they did not know that the licenses of the manufacturers were already expired.
Nung nag-aayos po kami ng license sa Krame, nandun po ang license ng Diamond. So ang alam po namin, meron po talagang license. Pero ang hindi po namin alam na ngayon nag-inspect ang DTI na wala po palang license si Diamond sa DTI.
The retailers also contest that the authorities should go after the manufacturers and not them, especially that they have already invested a lot of money for it.
Dapat ang pinupuntahan ng DTI is manufacturer, hindi kami. Kasi binababa lang nila sa amin yan eh. Tigatinda lang nila kami. Supplier namin yan po all throughout the year. Paano kung hindi naman nila sinasabi na expire na ang lisensya nila? Kawawa naman kami. O, kawawa kami.
Oo, kawawa yung mga nagtitinda. Pero hindi ba mas kawawa yung mga bumibiling nasasabugan, napuputulan ng kamay at namamatay? Di ba mas kawawa sila kesa sa mga negosyanteng pwede namang magnegosyo ng tama at pwede namang magbenta ng mga lisensyadong brands?
The DTI is both serving notice of violation against the retailers and manufacturers to explain their side on the matter. But they may be fined and face charges against selling without valid PS license and unauthorized use of PS license mark. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
3 suspects were arrested in Manila for illegal possession and manufacture of false treasury or bank notes. Dante Amento reports.
Joint forces from the Manila and Quezon City Police District and the Investigation Division of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas arrested 3 suspects for manufacturing counterfeit money in 1532 Loyola Corner, Valencia Street, Sampaloc, Manila this morning. Authorities have identified the suspects as Paulo Guevara, the prime target, and his 2 cohorts, Dato Haron Mangundato and Francis Tualia. Authorities recovered more than 400,000 pesos of counterfeit bank notes of 201,000 peso bills, suspected marijuana, shabu, fake passports, driver's license, BIR ID, among others. Police Major Rosalino Ibay of the Special Mayor's Reaction Team said the main target was apprehended in 2018 for the same violations of manufacturing fake money and documents.
Sa information na nakuha namin, talagang madami na silang nabiktima. Continuous, lalo na pag season. Kasi alam naman natin pag season, talagang ang ekonomiya malusog. Kaya ginagrab nila tong opportunity na to.
Based on the investigation, the suspects can dispose 100 pieces of fake bills every day in stalls, supermarket, and even through GCash. One of the suspects said they were just ordered by a certain Ann for their operations.
Inaalam din namin sa nila kinagastos. Minsan pupunta nila dito, pinapalis na po namin. But nakikiusap lang po sila. Tapos baka namukhaan yung motor ko, gesyo, ganun sabi po nila. Tinatrabaho din po namin sila.
The suspects will be charged for violation of Articles 166, 168, and 176 of the revised Penal Code for manufacturing, possession of fake money, paraphernalia, and violation of the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Meanwhile, the authorities warn the public to be cautious in order not to become a victim of such modus.
Mabilisan, yun talaga titingnan mo maigi at saka hawakan mo, haplasin mo. Hindi siya, wala kang masasalat Parang kang bond paper lang na ginanon. Kasi yun yung pinakamabilis.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
While the Social Security System, or SSS, has rejected appeals to postpone the collection of another increase in premium contributions, the pension fund is set to launch a new investment trust along with the hike in January. Ray Belayo explains why.
Pursuant to the Republic Act 11199 or the Social Security Act of 2018, a provident fund should be collected to qualified members starting in January 2021. The Social Security system called this as the Workers' Investment and Savings Program, or WISP. It covers employers, OFW, self-employed, and voluntary members with monthly salary of more than 20,000 pesos. Of the 3,250 total contribution, 650 pesos goes to WISP. SSS said it is an additional benefit for pensioners, persons with total disability or death. Benefits will be based on the accumulated account value.
Because of the annuity feature, you will ensure that whatever build-up of funds that you have in your WISP, ito po will continue to support your pension period. So for retirees, we ensure that ito po magiging additional income for your pension.
SSS said, out of the 650 pesos monthly contribution, only 225 will be shouldered by the employee. It cannot be withdrawn for at least 15 years.
Ang ibig sabihin po nun sa isang karaniwang empleyado, parang nag-invest ka ng 225 pesos, right away, kumita ka na ng 425 pesos na employer match. That's like a 189% return right off the bat.
Most amount of the investment will be put in the risk-free government securities. Ray Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
For those watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on the right side of your screen and ring the bell for notifications. You may also follow us on Facebook.
The Philippine government continues to monitor the new variant of COVID-19 that has become more prevalent in the United Kingdom. But health experts say there is no evidence yet that the strain has any selective advantage over vaccines. Aiko Miguel explains why.
Like what has been explained by the World Health Organization in the previous days, it is common for viruses to mutate, but the public is advised not to panic, especially that COVID-19 vaccines are currently developed. According to health experts, the COVID-19's new variant will not affect the efficacy of the vaccination plan rolled out against COVID-19, which already began in other countries. Experts developing COVID-19 vaccines are also considering new research and evidences on COVID-19 to assure that the development of vaccines can still give protection to people against COVID-19.
What we know now is that parang hindi naman siya, it's not causing more severe disease than the currently existing na virus. So hindi naman siya kakaiba in such a way na mas maraming namamatay o mas grabe yung disease na binibigay niya. So, inaaral pa rin talaga, pero mukhang so far wala pa namang reason to believe that it's worse.
According to Dr. Marisa Alejandria, Philippine representative on WHO Solidarity Trial, it is important that the government should control the transmission of COVID-19. In this manner, mutation of the virus can also be prevented.
So, ongoing ang studies. And we do not think that hindi magiging effective sa ngayon yung ginagamit na vaccine, but we will have to monitor actively. So lahat ng mga binigyan ng bakuna, minomonitor yan.
WHO Western Pacific Region Coordinator for Essential Medicines and Health Technologies, Dr. Socorro Escalante, agrees to this. The WHO is also monitoring and keeping an eye on the 52 choices of COVID-19 vaccines that can be administered to people once approved.
It's really very important for us to control and suppress the transmission. Otherwise, we will see more of these virus mutations, and it would be more difficult maybe if these mutations are very important in terms of increasing transmission or infectivity or even the severity of the illness, then mas mahihirapan tayo to fight COVID-19.
According to DOH, the new variant is 70% more transmissible to humans and animals. But this does not mean it is more dangerous than the new variant existing in the Philippines. According to the DOH, what is important now is people to observe basic health protocols to avoid getting infected with COVID-19.
We're not helpless, we're not defenseless, and we always have to drill down. Kakanyunin natin lahat ito gamit ang minimum public health standards. Yun ang talagang panlaban natin dyan.
Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna recently released their statement that their developed vaccines can give protection against the reported new variant of COVID-19. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Health, or DOH, denied reports that the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine, or RITM, which is under its jurisdiction, distributed expired RT-PCR testing kits to Baguio City. The DOH issued a statement in response to the claim of Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong that at least 50,000 expired testing kits for COVID-19 were distributed to a private laboratory in the city. Magalong earlier said he already raised the concern to the RITM and the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases as he pushed for an investigation into the incident. The DOH said that based on delivery records and documents, no expired testing kits were released to any laboratory in the country, noting that the testing kits have a short shelf life.
Japan bans foreign nationals from entering the country starting today through the end of January. Marvy Delfin will give us the details live. Marvy, go ahead.
Japan's government has imposed a temporary ban of all non-resident foreign nationals as a precaution against the new and more contagious coronavirus variant that has spread across the United Kingdom. Starting today, Japan will stop issuing any new visas and will not accept new international entry until the end of January 2021, according to a statement from Japan's Foreign Ministry on Saturday, after health authorities confirmed another 2 cases of UK's B117. Though the ministry officials said the variant is unlikely to spread in Japan anytime soon because all close contacts linked to the confirmed UK variant cases have been identified and placed under self-quarantine. Both patients are currently hospitalized in Tokyo. Japanese citizens and foreign residents are exempted from this temporary entry ban if they present a valid re-entry permit, as well as a proof of a negative COVID-19 test taken 72 hours before the departure time of the flight into Japan. They must also quarantine for 14 days upon arrival and must not take public transport to leave the airport. This move is a step up from last week's ban on non-resident travelers from Britain and South Africa after 7 people tested positive for the new COVID-19 variants. Japan joins the list of more than 40 countries that have closed their borders to British arrivals from December 20, beginning with France, which caused widespread disruption to supply chains. As of Saturday, Japan had more than 218,000 cases, up more than 3,700 from the day before, and more than 3,200 deaths. Tokyo recorded its new daily high since the pandemic began, with 949 cases, despite calls by the government officials and health authorities for people to spend a quiet holiday season. Jago?
Thank you, Marvy, for that live report. After a lengthy delay between U.S. officials, President Donald Trump finally signed the coronavirus relief and government funding bill amid the ongoing pandemic. Miguel Rey de Leon reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump has signed into law a massive $2.3 trillion coronavirus relief bill for Americans affected by the ongoing pandemic, alongside a government funding bill averting another government shutdown. In a statement from the president released by the White House late Sunday night, it is stated that this bill would help restore unemployment benefits, stop evictions, provide rental assistance, add more money for vaccine distribution, and more. It is expected on Monday that a vote will take place in the House to increase payments to individuals from $600 to $2,000. This would mean that a family of 4 would be eligible to receive $5,200. Likewise, the Senate plans to repeal Section 230 amid the president's tweets regarding Twitter's flags and alleged suppression of truth. Both the House and the Senate also agreed to focus strongly on the alleged voter fraud that took place in the November 3 presidential elections. Miguel Rey de Leon, UNTV News and Rescue, USA. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Police investigating a camper van blast that injured 3 people in Nashville on December 25 have named a suspect after DNA was collected at the scene. Early Briones will tell us more details live. Early, what is the name and profile of the suspect?
Arlene, U.S. officials identified Anthony Q. Warner as the bomber in the December 25 explosion that rocked downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Police authorities had identified Warner, 63, as a person of the interest in the case. He is believed to have died in the explosion. The DNA found at the scene was matched to samples taken at another location searched by investigators. Public records also show Warner to have experience with electronics and alarms and has worked as a computer consultant for a Nashville realtor. Furthermore, investigators retrieved parts from the detained vehicle and were able to link the vehicle identification number to a recreational vehicle registered to Warner. The Metro Nashville Police Department on Sunday posted a video of the explosion. The 39-second video shows a person walking away from the scene, followed by an explosion that shakes the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department camera and dislodges a traffic light. The impact left 3 people injured, while the damage inflicted on the transmission building has continued to disrupt cell phone services and police and hospital communications in several southern states. Warner was found to be a lone bomber, according to Special Agent Douglas Korneski of the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Memphis Field Office. A motive in the bombing has not been released and is still under investigation. Harleen?
Thank you, Early Briones, reporting live from Australia. A police officer from Birmingham in England, known for his remarkable talent for remembering wanted faces, has been hailed by his colleagues as Memory Man. Maeve Yandog will tell us why live. Yes, Maeve?
Harleen, Andy Pope from West Midlands Police in Birmingham has recognized more than 2,000 suspects across the region through its ability to remember wanted faces from CCTV, video stills, and police briefings for years. The 43-year-old police community support officer has been using his amazing talent since 2012 when he joined the force and was recognized by the force's chief constable in 2018 when he reached his 1,000 milestone. He then passed the 2,000 mark earlier this year and is now aiming to spot 2,500 suspects by 2022. The pandemic has not prevented Mr. Pope from picking out suspects this year and made sure to be fully updated on the images of wanted people. He was also able to spot some of them while they are wearing face coverings. When asked about his talent, he said it was impossible to explain and that it was through having an instinct that it is the person and thankfully being proven right. Mr. Pope regularly patrols transport hubs and is spending most of his shift on trains and buses in the West Midlands region as part of the Safer Travel Partnership team. Furthermore, he is one of only 20 members of the Association of Super Recognizers, a body of people with excellent memory capabilities where their skill wants to be recognized as a part of forensic science. For Mr. Pope's work, he was also nominated for Amplifon Awards for Brave Britons 2020. Back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Maeve Yandog, reporting live from Australia. And those are the reasons behind the news, December 28, 2020. I am Harleen Delgado.
Reasons we will deliver to you as they unfold. I am Elsie Marcos, sitting in for William Theo, live from Auckland, New Zealand.
Because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Angelo Castro III. We serve the people, we give glory to God.